Hi everyone, welcome back to Function Pilates. I'm Vanessa Kelly, founder of Function Pilates, located here in Tempe, Arizona, and today I'm back with quick tips for you. And this week I want to share some of my quick tips that I use with clients that I need to correct alignment or actually help them engage muscle groups. And I do that by using a yoga block. So this is the prop we're going to use today in all 5 of these exercises that we're going to talk about. So the first exercise is going to be footwork. So if I drop my spring tension down to just my generic footwork, which is about 2 mediums and a heavy spring, headrest is up. This is how I'm going to correct their foot alignment. So let's say you have a client or yourself that tends to externally rotate a little bit more. So meaning your feet tend to go out, what do they call that? They call it more like duck feet, right? So basically the toes are pointing outward, the heels are more narrow. This would be a really great way to correct that in order to intentionally distribute the weight into their foot properly, okay? So what we do is, once we're here, I'm gonna have you guys lie yourself down and we can place, if you're doing this yourself, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna go ahead and place the block in between your heels and you're gonna place your heels, so you have to get this like aligned perfectly. You're gonna place your heels on top of the foot bar here, okay? So maybe this already feels like a challenge to you. You're like, oh my God, I already feel my inner thighs activating. I feel these weird sensations in my ankles because, you know, they might be weaker, but that's all okay, that's good, because this is what we're going to start to turn on. We wanna turn those muscles on. So as you go into your footwork, that's what you're gonna think about as you're going in through each repetition here. So it's just a nice reminder to maintain alignment, to teach alignment, and to teach the appropriate muscle focus. That is the whole purpose of the exercise, right? So really great for a postural alignment. If you have found yourself doing this, you have a client doing this, and just reinforcing the equal weight contribution that they need to do as they're pressing into the block here. But really nice to add into your workout as well. Any type of parallel alignment here. You could also do this on your toes too. So that's the first exercise. The second exercise is, I'm gonna reduce tension here and we're gonna go into, I'm just gonna go into a medium spring. And from here, we're gonna really show tabletop and how it is supposed to feel. Because a lot of times people have a tendency to lose their tabletop and they don't necessarily understand why. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna have you guys take your tabletop and then you're gonna place the block. We can go long ways here, okay, horizontal. And then from this position, it teaches the client and yourself to maintain proper tabletop the entire time. So they're fully engaged as they go into their supine abs series. Because if they were to lose their tabletop, the block is gonna fall, right? So this encourages them to take things slower. So if you tend to move faster or you have a client who tends to move faster, I guarantee you they're gonna slow way down. They're probably gonna feel more in their abdominal muscles anyways as they're doing this. So this is one of my favorite ones to use and pull out to teach proper core awareness here as well, okay? So there's that tabletop position. Then let's say we're gonna go onto our stomach here, and you have a client who tends to basically grip and work through their hip flexors a lot, okay? So they're not really engaging through their midsection. It's like, well, what do we put there in order for them to really understand what that is, okay? So let's just take it here into a flex position, okay? So that, because a lot of people tend to push upward, so they're pushing their belly button up instead of drawing their navel down. So this is a great exercise to place the block on top of their belly so that they can feel if they are pushing upward. So I'm using hundreds as an example right now because there's so much breath pattern involved. And so this, again, is such a good way to teach them, but you can do this with your supine abs series in addition as well. So the block is useful there as that third exercise. And then as the fourth exercise, I'm going to actually drop my right handle. And just so that you guys can see on camera, I'm going to place my right hand into the block here. So when we do our supine ab work, when we're pulling our arms straight down, muscle focus that are also supposed to be activated is our lat muscles. So it's like when you're pulling through the handle, you want to feel like you're using your lat muscles and not necessarily just your arm muscles. That makes sense. So what do? This whole block here, I ask the client to press firmly, or I'll even place my hand on top of theirs so that I can feel that they're engaging the muscle groups underneath their armpit. And that is the teaching lesson at that point, because I want them to now press through using those muscles with each of these repetitions here, okay? So that's exactly what this fourth exercise teaches clients to do. And then we'll slowly come back up. And then I would encourage you to switch to the other side so that they can feel it on their left side. Because a lot of people, when they're doing things like this, they're going to be obviously more dominant on one side than the other one. Okay, fifth exercise. This is another one of my favorites. It's a little on the mean side, but in a, obviously a humorous way. But it's such a great tool to teach clients, especially if they have some trouble with keeping their foot in a parallel alignment. We're gonna do this on our side. So our sideline series here is this next one. So I'm gonna come all the way down. And of course, this is, I still have that red spring on. You could always reduce it, but I'm going to place my top foot in, and then I'm gonna set myself up already. Okay, so I have my headrest up high right now, and I wanna place the block on top of my foot. So again, I'm focused on parallel alignment. My bottom leg's just gonna go for the ride here. And from here, you're just gonna slowly start to straighten out your leg. Okay, so again, if they have a tendency to internally or externally rotate at their ankle, this would be a great prop to use. Or if they race through things, this would be a great prop to use. So it just generally slows things down in a sense where if they go too fast, if they change the positioning of their foot, they are going to lose the block, okay? But it's a good assignment, a good way of teaching your body, your client, things that they don't necessarily know or they can see, but now they're going to feel it. They're going to feel it, especially if they got a sleepy glute and they've been like, oh yeah, no, my glutes are working just fine. And because their alignment was off, this is going to be a nice indication to give them that teaching lesson. So hopefully these tips were good. Let me know, try them out. So useful. Like I said, I've been using these for quite some time. Especially, I've been in the industry for 17 years, so these are just some of my favorites that I want to bring out to you guys and see if they help you guys with your alignment. So I will see you next week for 5 quick tips.